fifth grade. Today we're starting a new grouping of poems. The theme of the poems that we'll be reading for a while is growing up. So I'm going to introduce you to that today, and then we're going to start off with a classic Robert Frost poem called Nothing Gold Can Stay. These are the poems that students say speak to them the most keenly about the beginning of growing up and their identities as a middle schooler. You will find this phase of life spoken in poetry. I'm hopeful you will gain perspective on what growing up means, and it will inspire a sense of confidence in the self you are today and the grown-up that is beginning to emerge. We tend to categorize Robert Frost as a nature poet, and he does write powerfully about the natural world, but it's the complexity of human nature that's his real subject of our fears, desires, tragedies, and surprises. Nature may be the prism, but the focus is us. Frost's Nothing Gold Can Stay is probably the most famous poem ever written about the need for all things to grow up. Go ahead and follow along with me as I read Nothing Gold Can Stay. Nothing gold can stay. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. Today, when you go back into this poem, you're not going to be commenting and demonstrating what you understand to me. What you are going to be doing is going back into this poem and commenting on the words and lines that you want us to talk about together because they confuse you and you want to understand them. Then we'll unpack this poem together when we return to school. Guys, I'm looking for at least 3 comments. If there's more that is confusing or that you want to understand, by all means, comment on that. But I'm looking for at least 3 things that you are confused about and that you would like to understand, because this poem is going to serve as the cornerstone of the poems that we read from this point on while we're in this grouping of poems. So it's very important that we start off really understanding what Robert Frost was talking about in this poem. So unfortunately, we can't come together to do that. And so I'm just going to have you go in and put those comments in there. That way I can prepare for the day that we do get to come back together and we can have a discussion. And if for some reason that date gets pushed further in the future than we think that it might, then we could possibly even have a Google Meet to have those discussions. But for right now, just go in and give me 3 comments on things that are confusing to you that you would like to understand. Remember, as writers, there's always something that we can take away from these poems and apply to our own writing. And so this is a poem to memorize, to take into your life, to help you understand that growing up is inevitable. That means that you cannot not grow up, that it's going to happen whether you want it to or not. Nothing gold can stay, but it's also a chance to think about what will replace your gold, your sense of innocence. It could be cynicism. It could also be, or should be, I think, knowledge, self-knowledge, and hope. I love and miss you guys. I hope you are doing well and that you've had a good Christmas. I can't wait to have you back in the classroom and hear your voices and see those smiles. I'll hopefully see you guys soon.